What it takes to build a 7-figure business for coaching online. Here we go. Let's get into this. I really have never broken this down, and I want to come on and give you some insight on what that looks like on truly behind the scenes of how I've been able to build online and in person. But today I'm specifically talking about online coaching company. And if you guys are like, well, I'm a chiropractor, I'm a physical therapist, you're a coach. And every single person, I believe, is a coach, whether or not they realize that or not. So here we go. Let's get into it. So when I first launched PelviBiz, not one person bought. I thought, oh, I'm going to create a funnel. I'm going to create a website. I'm going to put on my social media. Everyone's going to buy. No one bought. And by the way, there was high demand at the time for this because no one was doing it. And so I was like, I got to be different. Let me do this. And I realized that people didn't know who I was. I had an amazing product. I coached the heck out of people, but people didn't know who I was. And I was like, well, you think so that they would do that because I've already, built this other company, but no. So that's the first thing. Please let your ego go if you think that, people know you because you built this brand. No one still knows you. Okay. You have to remember that. So you still have to market, and brand. I think that's very huge. Sorry. Okay. Number 2 is the other thing I realized with this is I had to have more conversations. I didn't know 100% my people's pain point, even though I was them. Like I was my people, meaning like I was the ideal client because I built what I want for my clients, right? And so like, it's like, well, this is what I want, but like, is that what my clients want? Do my clients have the same mentality? Do my clients have the same outcomes? Do my clients have the same wants? Do they have the same needs? Like that's number 2 is you have to be able to audit what the heck does your clients want? That's huge. Sorry, hold on. All right. So after that, I audited what my people wanted. And ultimately, it came down to they want time with their family. They want money. They want to be able to pay off their student loans. It really was a sequence of things. And as you get in with clients, you're going to realize stuff changes. At first, when people come on with me, all they want is money and be able to pay off their student loans and get out of the job that they don't like. That's really it. And then as they develop with me, they start to realize it's less about the money. It's more about leadership. It's more about culture. It's more about integration, how they can integrate their work and their life. It's more about trying to get time back. And then ultimately, they end up learning that they're going to create an asset with me and that they can either sell it, they can keep it, they can do whatever they want with it. But really, it's going to make them money and be able to actually give them the life that they're looking to have. And most people don't get to that level because they give up actually at level 1. I would say most providers give up at level 1 and they think that they've made it because they replaced their income. And that's just not it. And so my job and my goal is to get people truly to really what they want. There's no finish line. That's what I've also realized in coaching. There's no finish line. If you want to be an amazing coach, you always have to solve problems. You always have to solve problems. And you have to know the problems like so intricately, like deep down of like truly what's the problem. Because a lot of times whatever people say, that's not the problem. It's deeper than that. And so you got to be able to dig and go to the deeper why of that. And I think that's huge. And I don't think most coaches do that. Most coaches, when they start out, and I was the same way, I was just strictly tactile, straight up tactile. And I realized probably 10% of the people need that. I'm one of the 10%. I absolutely love tactile. But what I realized is a lot of people are messed up here in their head. And they actually need more coaching from like beliefs and mindset, and they're worth it, and that their parents all messed them up trying to get them. That's what I realized. My parents did not, thank God. But I realized like they're just trying to get straight A's, and that's what made them all messed up in their head that they have to be perfect and do things perfectionistly. And for me, I didn't have parents like that. They're like, we're happy that you can even speak. So they were just thankful that I just was in school. Like, we didn't even know I was going to make it through high school. So, like, they didn't even put any pressure on me. They were happy I got a C. Like, so it didn't mess with my head, because I knew I was just giving it my all, and that's what I do every single time in life. And no matter whatever I take on, I give it my freaking all. And that's what truly matters. And so I guess I've just built that I've flexed that muscle, because I've had to do it since I was, in kindergarten, just flexing my own muscle of like, yep, I've gave it my all. I know deep down inside I gave it my all. There's nothing else I could do. And so it's not, there's, the validation doesn't come from my parents. It's coming from my own self, and knowing that I gave it everything I possibly could. And so I think when most people start a business, they think that it's just going to blow up, because they know what they know, like what they do is good, but no one knows about them. And I think that's just a misconception that a lot of people have to move past. Even I had to do that. And I realized, okay, well, I know there's a need. So here's my third thing I did is I got on over 200 free 1-hour Zoom calls. And I just started talking to people that needed help. I just started helping. And I don't even think many people would get past this point, because 200 free Zoom calls, that's at least over 200 hours. Probably, honestly, it was probably like 400 hours. I don't know many people that would do that for free. But I had such a passion for it, which why it makes me such a good coach. Because to me, it's not about the money, the time, whatever. It's just about moving people to change their life, because I have a deep passion to help women get out of any situation that they're in and truly live their best, true, authentic self. And it's not just in business, it's personal as well. And I take it personally. I take it where it's my mission to freaking move every single person in my program. So that's why we don't have a high volume. We are higher end, with every single day me talking to you, to be able to get in your head and move you. And I like it that way. Many coaches are like, well, I don't do it that way. Okay, great. I do. Because that's just the way I have found to get the best results. And people feel supported. Great. Okay. So I guess that was my third thing I did, was get on all the Zoom calls. My fourth thing I did was I wrote down in my note section on my phone every single thing that these people said. What were their deep whys? What were their false beliefs? What were the things that they couldn't get over or couldn't get past? Because every single thing I was going to solve. And all I did, I had over 4,000 lines in my note section, and I went one by one and created a module on it. That was it. And with creating those modules, I was like, I can solve these problems, and I started seeing patterns. That's number 5 in this. Tony Robbins said this the best. He said, you must recognize patterns. That's how you become wealthy. I didn't understand what that means. Now I understand what that means. Patterns are key. I started realizing after writing out all of those things, the problems, that these were the main issues that people were having. And if I could narrow that down and simplify it and really put it in a format that's simple, easily digestible, and be able to get it to the people very quickly and easy, then it's gold. The value of it goes up. And that's what I need for you guys to do. So that was number 5 of how I built this thing. Then I did the first ever retreats. No one was doing retreats in our field in the healthcare space. And I was like, well, it's a tax write-off, and like we get to have fun. And I was all about doing it differently, not doing it classroom style. So for those that know PelviBiz, we do things completely different than everyone else. I do not have conferences in classrooms. I'm like anti-classroom, because I don't believe you just sitting up there listening to someone is going to make you learn. I feel like I need to provide an experience that's going to have tactile information and also false beliefs information that's going to be able to get you to move past things. For instance, at our recent last event we did, I did a cold plunge and sauna. The cold plunge is like, uh-oh, I don't want to start my business. I don't want to go into my business. It's the fear. It's the, uh-oh, I think I should get out of this thing because it's so cold. But you go in it, you stay in it, you're in it for like 3 minutes. And then all of a sudden it's like, you know what? I think I can do this. And that's a business lesson. And then the sauna is the relaxation, the thinking, the processing, the visionary. And so when you combine both, it's like you have the thing, you have the sauna where you're envisioning and you're like, you got all the ideas. And then you go and do it, and that's the cold plunge. And then your body and all your mind is like, no, don't do it, don't do it. But you're like, no, I'm going to freaking do it. And then you stay in and do it. And then all of a sudden, you have the outcome that you're looking for. And that's the freaking lesson. So every single thing I do, especially for my events, are heavily planned out and thought out on every freaking detail to it, because I know it's the thing that's going to move people the most. My events are the things that are going to move the people the most. And it's honestly, I would say the thing that I am the best at is events. I give you an experience, an unbelievable experience. I rented snorkels and goggles for my people at this last event, and we went swimming with sea lions. And yes, they do bite. Okay. Real life sea lions. This is not in SeaWorld. This is the real life ocean. And every single one of my clients went in the ocean. How cool is that? And swam with these guys. And they were so many people were fearful. I mean, the water just alone, it's 55 degrees. The massive waves, sea lions there, sharks. I mean, everything, right? But every single person got in, and I was super proud of that. And that is a business lesson, because your brain says, I don't want to do it. I don't want to freaking go in. And then you go in and you're like, you know what? This isn't as bad. So anyways, so that's like what makes us different. And I think also our results. And so that's number 6 is, if you're a coach of any sort, you have to have proof. You have to have proof. And I remember one of my coaches said this to me when I started Pelvibiz. He was like, Kelly, you cannot do Pelvibiz unless you have proof. But I'm like, okay, but I just made $30K a month. Like, is that enough proof? And he's like, no. And I didn't get it because I didn't understand the different levels of business until I was in it for 5, 6, 7 years now. Okay. I just thought I reached the top of my first year of business because I made $30K a month and I thought I was a billionaire. No, that just wasn't it. There were so many more lessons after that. And so he's like, you have to have proof. And I'm like, okay, like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, you have to build a company that doesn't rely on you. That's the first step. And most people can't even get there. And I was like, okay. So I pulled out completely. I'm like, am I here? And, you have to make at least 7 figures. And I'm like, okay, check the box. In 2 years, I did that. Check. Okay, let me start Pelvibiz. And that's like, that was part of my motivation, is like, I really wanted to start Pelvibiz because it was such a passion. And I think most coaches today, which is why I think a lot of people are fearful of buying into coaching, is because they think they're a coach because they went through an experience once, but they don't have all the notches on their belt. Meaning they may not have been through all the leadership they need to go to. Maybe they haven't built a big team. Maybe they haven't done multiple locations. Maybe they haven't manage their company from afar. Maybe they haven't fired 30 people. Maybe they haven't hit 7 figures. Maybe they haven't hit multi 7 figures, right? Maybe I don't know. There's so many different levels to this. And so, if you want to become like the best, and I want to become the best, I want to become like the female Tony Robbins, but like not an emotional motivational way, just like in a truly impactful, changing your life kind of way. And you have to go through all that. You have to go through all of it. And everything I just said, I've been through. I've been through all of it. Now, I'm not saying I know everything. There's still so much to learn, always, every single day. But I'm just saying, all the pain and all the fear of what you guys are fearful of like, I'm so afraid of failing and whatever, like, that's the thing that makes you the best coach. I have failed way more than any of my wins, ever. People see the wins, but I also try to show all the failure too. I put it all out there on social media, all of it, every single part of it. Because I think that's important for you guys to know. And that's the seventh thing I would say on this is you have to be willing to show up your true authentic self and be okay with failing every single day, because the failure is the thing that you learn from. Like, that's the thing. And that's what actually makes you the best coach, is when you go through all the failure. If everything was great, I wouldn't know the failure, so I wouldn't know how to then coach you guys. But because of all the things, and typically at 5 years, you have to break a business, always. And it goes through like a rebooting process. And the number one thing I hate is when someone's like, I'm good. And I'm like, if you say you're good, you're not focusing at all on trying to grow. That tells me you're dead in the water. That tells me your business is going to fail. And you always have to be leveling up and trying to grow, always. And I think that makes the best coaches and this is number 8, is when you are the best freaking learner. When you absolutely love to learn. Every single day, I will pick learning over watching TV any single day. Always. And I think that's what makes me dangerous, is I don't stop. I don't. And I'm always going to learn, like, what's the newest, latest thing. So I bring to my people first and then move the profession after that. And so, I don't know. And then I think number 9 is like highly, highly passionate about it. You know, whether or not you get a salary or not. People don't know this, but I've never taken a salary from PelviBiz, ever. Never taken a salary. It's purely been out of passion. Just straight up passion. And, you know, I don't know if I'm proud of that or not, but I just want to tell you that if you want to build something great and big, it's not about the money. And that's what I also realized being a coach. It's about the mission, the passion, the purpose, the results. And it really comes down to the results that you can get other people. And that's what makes you great. If you can get other people to go from nothing to 50, 60, 70, 80K months, guys, I can't tell you how many people we've been able to do that with. From nothing, no business at all. In 3 years or less. 3 years or less. Life changing. And it's the results that we get people. And I would say that's also the number one thing that makes us different, is the results. So if you want to be a freaking good coach, get the results and coach differently. Don't just teach tactile. You have to teach mindset. You have to teach relationships. You have to teach every single aspect of life, because it all goes together, and that's what makes people be able to move and be able to move forward. And so anyways, that's what I want to say about how I built PelviBiz. And then basically it was through events. Oh yeah. And that's, I guess, number 10 is do what your strengths are. My strengths is in person. For those that have met me online, I show up okay online. For those that have met me in person, I probably surprise you, and I'm probably, I don't know, better in person. I know I'm better in person because I'm just a people person. So I love events. I love connecting with people. I love people. I love to surround myself with people. I get energy from people. I'm one of those blessed people that gets energy from people. And so do what you're passionate about. So if I'm very passionate about putting on events, then for me, it's like I need to put on events because that's going to build the movement. If you're very passionate about helping people online, well, then do more online events, you know? But for me, it's about connection. And I can feel I can build a deeper connection in person than online. And then I would say the last thing is probably social media. Getting very comfortable with telling social media every single thing about you, no matter what, the good, the bad, the ugly, all the things. I have nothing to hide. I'm not one single thing to hide. I've told social media every single thing. Everything. People are like, wow, you're so vulnerable on it. Yeah, because I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of anything. Most people are afraid of what other people are going to think. I'm not afraid because I know who I am. And to be a good coach, you have to know exactly who you are, because you're going to have people, you will change their life completely. And then you do something that they don't agree with. And then they're like, oh, I hate you. Okay, great. And you have to be okay with that. Like at first when I started being a coach, I was like, oh my God, like I love these people. They're like my sisters and blah, blah, blah. And then like when they would leave, I was just like, oh my God, it was like heartbreak. Like I was so heartbroken. It's like a family member dying. Like for real. That's how hard I took it because I take this stuff personally. But then I learned it's not me. I learned there's two parties here. And you have to be in like a relationship with kind of your clients, and the fact that both parties have to participate. And you have to learn that you cannot put everyone on your back and carry them to the finish line. Because then I disempower people. And I have to empower them instead of disempowering them. And that's giving them the tools, resources, and all the things that they need. But they have to decide if they want to put in the work. And that's also part of being a good coach, is you got to know how to empower people and not just handhold them the entire way, because you will get burnt out. This happened to me. You will get 100% burnt out, take everything so personal, and you'll hate it. And you'll be like, I'm done. And I did that. And then I had a reboot. And I would say that's probably my biggest regret. I don't really have regrets, but I would say if I had a regret, that's probably my biggest regret, is getting to that point and not recognizing it before that actually happened. And just kept pushing through. And I just should have taken a moment, maybe months, to figure my own self out, and then continued on to coach. So just lessons of Pelvibiz and how to become a good coach and what it's taken to get us there. And I still work long hours. Like I still, just so you guys know, I mean, again, being completely transparent, still work very long hours, but it's what I'm passionate about. It's what I love. I don't have to, but I want to, because I just feel like we're in an era where like there's just so much of like, I want to live every freaking day like it's my last freaking day, and I don't want to sit around watching TV or just like hang out. Like I want to maximize the crap out of my day, whether or not that's learning something insanely hard and I'm going to just do it, whether or not that's giving all my energy to my clients and just like saying, here you go freaking for it. Like, and just getting them to freaking move and like changing their life. Like whatever it is, I'm going to freaking max out my day. And that's just how I live my life. I know some of you guys don't, that's okay, but that's just me. And I always want to be pushing and be the best. So that's all I got to say today, guys. Have a great day.